All right, let's get into a topic today that, well, it might just make you rethink your weekend plans. We're asking a big question. Are restaurants actually overrated? We're going to dive into some really compelling arguments and see if that fancy meal out is really worth it.
So let's just get straight to it. Think about the whole experience, the vibe, not having to do dishes, the nice plates. Is it all a bit overhyped when you really look at the costs? The material we're digging into today argues a massive, resounding yes.
And look, we get it. I mean, who doesn't love a nice glass of wine, a steak you didn't have to cook yourself, maybe a great view? It feels absolutely fantastic. But, and this is a big but, the core idea we're exploring is that this feeling, well, it comes with a seriously heavy price tag. One that might be quietly wrecking your financial goals without you even noticing.
Now here's where it gets interesting. The idea is that eating out has kind of shifted, you know? It's become less about just getting food and more about, well, the performance of it all. The Instagram photo, the check-in, that feeling of being seen somewhere cool. It's turned into a status symbol, and paying for that status, that comes directly out of your pocket and your financial freedom.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual numbers, because the real cost of eating out is so much more than what's just printed on the menu. You've got to think about all those little extras, hey? Like tips and things that just add up, often in ways you don't even see coming.
The author shares this classic story. So his wife orders a single slice of cake for takeaway. He pops in to pay the R65, and the waitress actually asks for a tip. I mean, a tip for what? For handing a box over the counter? It's such a small thing, but it perfectly shows this weird culture of expectation that just inflates every single bill, even for a simple takeaway. Ish.
Now, check this out. This is some hard data from Standard Bank. Their average customer spends R775 every single month just on takeaways and food delivery. And that's before they've even bought a single thing for the grocery cupboard. It might not sound like a huge amount, but just wait. Watch what happens when we zoom out a bit.
And bam, this is where it really hits home. That R77.5 a month, it turns into over 9,000 Rand a year, R9,300. And remember, that's just the average. That's a holiday, man. That's a serious chunk of an investment or a huge bite out of your debt. Just gone. Poof. All traded for a little bit of convenience.
All right, now for the main event. If those numbers didn't quite get you, this next comparison is the absolute knockout punch. This is what the source material calls the great steak debate, and honestly, it puts everything into a really stark perspective.
Okay, just look at this for a second. On the left, you're at a restaurant. You pay R189 for a 300-gram rump steak. Pretty standard, right? Now, on the right, you go to a shop like Checkers or Woolies, and for the exact same price, R189, you get a full kilogram of the same cut of meat. A whole kilogram. That's more than 3 times the amount of steak for the exact same money.
So the choice is pretty simple, isn't it? 300 grams cooked for you, or 1,000 grams that you can cook at home exactly how you like it, with probably enough left over for 2 more meals. When you see it laid out just like this, the restaurant markup, which works out to R630 a kilo, well, it just seems completely insane.
So let's flip this around. Let's look at the other side of the coin. Because this isn't just about saving a bit of cash. The whole argument is that by choosing to cook at home more often, you gain so much more. We're talking about your health, your control, and yeah, even your social life. And this picture, it just sums up the alternative beautifully, doesn't it? It's not about being a gourmet chef or slaving away for hours. It can be as simple as some fresh eggs, cooked just the way you like them. You control everything, the ingredients, the salt, the oil. It's healthier, it's simpler, and it is incredibly cheap.
So what are the real perks here? Well, first, you know exactly what is going into your food. No hidden sugars, no weird fats. Second, you completely get rid of that end-of-meal stress. You know, the bill arriving, the awkward tip calculation. But maybe more importantly, you bring back proper conversations at home without having to shout over the music and noise of a packed restaurant. You literally save your voice and your money.
Now, okay, this is the really practical bit of advice. The absolute key to making this all work is planning. We've all had that moment, right? It's 7 p.m., you open the fridge, and it's just empty. That's what leads to what the author calls desperation takeout. So a little bit of planning when you buy your groceries, make sure you always have something on hand to make a lekker meal and avoid that whole trap.
So, let's be clear. The message here isn't to lock yourself in your house and never go out again. Not at all. It's about shifting your mindset.
It's about making eating out a deliberate, special, enjoyable treat instead of just a mindless, really expensive habit.
And you know, there's a cool psychological reason why this treat, not a habit idea works so well. It's something called hedonic adaptation. Basically, it means if you do something amazing all the time, like eating out, it stops feeling amazing. It just becomes normal. But by saving it for a special occasion, you appreciate it so much more and you enjoy the experience way more when you do go.
At the end of the day, this whole thing isn't about being rigid or stingy. It's about being intentional. Every single rand you spend is a choice. And the goal is to make choices that serve your bigger purpose, whether that's saving for a house, investing for the future, or just getting to true financial freedom.
And I think this final thought from the source material just wraps it all up perfectly. Maybe the best way to catch up with people isn't over an overpriced meal in some noisy restaurant. Maybe, just maybe, it's in our own homes, sharing good, healthy food and even better conversation. Definitely something to think about.